seeing these politicians talk about how niggas in the hood, we don't have a job. And yes, I must admit, some of us are motherfucking lazy. But you know what the problem too is? It's fucking hard to get a motherfucking job. That's the problem. I remember when I was 18 years old, me and my first boyfriend, both our bum asses walked from 157th Street all the way to 116th Street to get a job. And niggas was telling us, oh yeah, apply online. Oh yeah, do you have experience? And it's like, experience, my nigga. Like, why do I have to have a long ass resume to fucking work in McDonald's or to fucking pack bags in a supermarket? Like, why the fuck do I gotta have so much experience to do that shit? And then when we kept applying for jobs online, shit used to pop up like, oh, do you want to take this 6 months college course? And it's just like, no, my nigga, I need to fucking get a job so I can survive college. That's what the fuck I need. I need a job. It's hard to get a job. Maybe that's why niggas don't have a fucking job.
Cardi B. The reason why they want you to have so much experience for these jobs that you would not need actual experience to complete the daily tasks is because it's an excuse to not hire people like you who are from the hood and come from your background, you know, former stripper, all of that. Yeah, it's just an excuse. That's all it is. It's to keep hood people down. You have there's people sitting in cubicles answering phones, and they're making, let's say, 40 grand a year. They barely work. If you ask them what they do, they'll say, yeah, I worked a couple hours today and then I slept at my desk, or we were fucking around at the water cooler talking about sports for like 3 hours. You know, they take 1.5 to 2 hour lunch breaks, and you're like, my dude, like, that's your job? And you make 40 grand a year basically to play at work? I mean, 40 grand a year is not balling or anything, but you can survive off of that, especially particularly if you're a single person without children. 40 grand a year, depending on where you live in this country, you could feel like you're balling. Now, if you live in New York or in some places in California, maybe not so much, but like in the South, if you're making 40 grand a year, you don't have any kids, and you're not in debt or anything like that, you don't have like too many responsibilities other than taking care of yourself, 40 grand a year would feel like 70, I don't want to exaggerate it, I would say $60,000 to $70,000, depending on where you are, particularly in the South. Maybe some places in the Midwest as well. Like 40 grand could go a long way. And literally, there's people who literally just sit in cubicles and muck around at work and get paid that. And then you got somebody else over here making half of that, making 20,000, busting their ass at work on their feet all day, walking around like crazy. And the most amount of time that they had while on the clock that they were not actually working might have been 15 minutes to half an hour at the time, where they weren't actually working. Like, pretty much their work day is an actual, real, true work day. They might even be more valuable to the company than the person that works in the cubicle, you know, where they'll require you to have all of this experience and a bachelor's degree. Sometimes, you know, it might just be an associate's, but you have somebody with a GED or a high school diploma or just entered college that would be able to handle the job without any issue. Hell, some people who dropped out of school and never completed school would be able to handle the job without any problem. There's kids in high school that would be able to do it, no problem. But they're specifically looking for people with a bachelor's degree to sit in a cubicle or in some sort of office and make 40, 50, sometimes $60,000 a year. It makes absolutely no sense unless you put into context and realize something. The reason why they want you to have all of this experience and stuff like that is because then that way they can keep certain people out of there. Just like in politics, like she was talking about, politicians are basically working against us. At the end of the day, they use something called gerrymandering. Now, instead of me explaining to you what it means to gerrymander, I'm going to read to you what the damn dictionary says about it instead of me trying to word it how I want to word it. Because I mentioned this before in videos, and I don't think that people fully understand, you know, what it means. So here's the dictionary definition of what it means to gerrymander. Noun, U.S. politics, the dividing of a state, country, etc. into election districts so as to give one political party a majority in many districts while concentrating the voting strength of the other party into as few districts as possible. What they do is they essentially divide things up in a map where they draw these lines like on the map to put this group of people in this particular district, this group of people in that district. For example, people who have a certain income, people of a certain ethnicity or race, maybe even people of an age group. What they do is they divide everything up. So let's say, for example, poor black people will be where the Democrats are, and they'll control them. And in this section right here, to be like rich older white people, and it'd be like Republicans looking over them. Because if you really think about it, politicians are supposed to be there to be our voice and to help put the things into place that the majority want to help benefit all of us, or at least most of us, so that we don't end up too messed up out here. So then that way people don't end up in the projects, or people don't end up poor, selling drugs to survive, or stripping to survive. If somebody wants to do that stuff, they should be doing it because that's what they want to do, not because they feel like that's what they have to do. You know, nobody should feel like they should have to throw away their beliefs, their religion, take away their own freedom, you know, to get $1. But yeah, if you never heard of gerrymandering, it's GERRYMANDER. Just look up gerrymander and learn a little bit of information about it. But they done figured out a way many years ago to screw us over royally by placing us into districts. Just like how you have a school district, like they'll say, well, your child can't go to this school because it's out of their district. So they have those lines set up there to where they're like, well, kids in this neighborhood can't go here unless it's under like special consideration or something like that. Like if they can use your kid for sports or whatever, if they might make a special consideration. Or if you used to live in this neighborhood, they might, I don't know. Depends on, you know, the school and who happens to be running things there and stuff like that. They might make a special consideration. But yeah, that's what they do in politics, because school is part of politics too. A lot of people don't realize that, which is directly connected to the job market. But yeah, they're basically disenfranchising and keeping hood people away from the things that they'll need to succeed. Basically, they put them in a shitty school district, they keep them out of the job market, and then they gentrify your neighborhood and move the people from like the suburbs and the upper middle class into there. They get rid of the small moms and pops businesses, put like the Walmarts and stuff like that, kick you out of where you used to live, and then you're living in a cornfield with no job. But hey, at least you have the corn to gnaw on. And if you know anything about Cardi B or me, we both love corn on the cob. So Cardi, if you stop being rich and I stop being rich and I lose this $14, baby, I will eat corn in the field with you forever. Your voice. But anyways, let me know what you think about it all below. Be sure to subscribe to the Meat Magazine YouTube channels. Visit meatmagazine.blogspot.com for more, and follow me on Twitter at Meat Magazine.